Hey everybody, Ray the Video Guy here, and I've got two special guests with me today, and we're going to talk about something that is not as sexy as, ranking a video to page one, but it certainly is equally as important, especially nowadays when the government, especially here in the U.S., is kind of cracking down on people, and the FTC is coming after people and all sorts of things, and Google is taking websites out of search if you don't have certain things in there. And so I've brought with me here today Anton Nautillo and John Shawcross, who are going to talk about a new plugin they've developed for your WordPress site that's going to make your life a lot easier and a lot safer. So John and... Whoa! For some reason I'm hearing feedback here. Hold on one second. I had the YouTube page open apparently, so I started hearing myself there. So welcome, John, and welcome, Anton.
How are you, Ray?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's for you guys. This is exciting because it's not 3 o'clock in the morning for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice and early in the day, and for me, it's the end of the day. So as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to go have dinner. So this is a fun time.
Great stuff.
So guys, tell me a little bit about your plugin. I've actually had an opportunity over the last 2 days or so to play with it a little bit, to set it up, and to do a review video on it. And but tell us a little bit about the reasons behind this particular plugin.
I'll pass to you, John. You can start.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for that, Anton. We recognised, obviously, that we as business people ourselves, we do a lot of our business online, and we also work directly with clients, and we sort of realised that there's an increasing amount of, or an increasing issue with site owners, website owners, and online marketers in particular. And they were facing sort of increasing issues where they weren't being compliant with what they were doing, with the way that they were marketing and the information that they were presenting online. So, a lot of people grabbed generic pages and threw those up in the hope that they would suffice, and they had the links here, on the bottom of the site, but they didn't necessarily cover. They were exactly that. They didn't necessarily cover their particular business or what they were promoting or how they were selling or the information that they were giving to their consumers. So we decided that that there was a need to develop something that easily allowed this information to be created and generated and displayed on a page. And whilst, as you say, it wasn't the sexiest topic in the world, we felt it was something that was hugely important because it's massively necessary for people in our industry, especially us online marketers. And that's really sort of where the idea sort of came from. It was originally Anton's idea a long time ago, and we sort of over the last it's been 8 months now. We've been sort of putting this product together, and we've come out with something that we think is pretty sort of very good at being able to sort of give that information and display on sites. So yeah, that's really how Compliance Bar all sort of started and how we got to where we are today.
Nice. And just for the record, I actually purposely set this up without even reading any instructions. I just wanted to see how easy it would be to get through, and I got through in the first try and set everything up, and it worked really well. But let me tell you what scared the heck out of me. I've heard many times, oh, you have to have you have to have your terms of service, and you have to have your privacy policy. And I've even heard, oh, you need to put on there that you're making money off of links and things like that if you're selling anything affiliate-wise. But holy cow, when I saw all the different compliance options in there, I was blown away. I'm not even sure, what is it, like 24 or 28 of these things in there?
23 in there, 23 in there at the moment. Plus that, you can, if you wanted to, you could add, you could change and add your own. And yeah, it is. It's quite frightening, and that's sort of really what I was saying about people throwing up generic information. That if you're selling on Amazon and you throw up something that doesn't relate to Amazon, you're not going to be compliant as far as Amazon's concerned, and vice versa. And again, if you're sort of if you're in the dating niche, or if you're sort of in the alcohol niche, or the e-cigarette niche, or any of those sort of age-restricted niches, and you're not you're not protecting the people that are under the age from viewing your content, you're liable to land yourself in a huge heap of trouble. So we had to create disclaimers for the age restriction guys as well. And the more we sort of delved into it, the more we realised, whoa, this is a big job. But one thing I do want to say is that when we had these sort of templates that are displayed in the product, when they're displayed, we actually have had those approved by a lawyer, so that they are deemed as approved and acceptable for use for compliance bar. So we actually sort of went that extra step to get them legally approved, which we felt was something that we needed to do, because as you say, there are just so many different possibilities that depending on your niche, your business, and your website, and a whole host of things, we just wanted to make sure as many people as possible were covered.
Beautiful, and that's exactly what it is. For those who haven't seen this product yet, literally, not only does it create a bar on your site that links to all the different compliance things, like your FTC disclaimers and all that kind of stuff, but it actually creates the pages for those as well. So when somebody clicks on that terms of service on the bar, it actually has a terms of service that you guys have had created with the help of lawyers and whatnot. And people can go in and you can just change it to add your name, your website, your business, and things like that. And so you can go instantly from completely non-compliant to 100% compliant for almost anything in literally 5 minutes. And that's what's great. You don't have to change your website or anything like that, which is always like, oh, I got to add compliance. Now I got to create all these pages, and I've got to figure out a way to link them in there. And you don't have to do any of that with it, which is what I really loved about it. So, Anton, John mentioned that you were kind of the person who came up with the idea originally. So, what is it that inspired you to kind of take it in this direction?
Well, I mean, like John said, we sort of back then. I mean, it was probably a couple of years ago. I came up with the idea, in that I think, especially probably in America, for example, and you raised it before we jumped on the call, but compliance is becoming more and more of an issue. And when I got into internet marketing, one of my previous occupations many years ago in a previous life was as an insurance broker. And, obviously covering the risk in your business is a big thing. Now, as entrepreneurs, we're all the same. We're out there, we're doing it, and we probably forget a lot of those things that might be really important to your business. And on our sales page, when I researched it, Ray, there's 3 or 4 case studies where people have been fined, hundreds of thousands of dollars for not being compliant. And I don't know about yourself, but most online entrepreneurs, I think, probably couldn't take a hit like that. It would destroy their business. And so I suppose initially I wanted a solution for myself that I could just, and I'm probably a little bit lazy, I just want something I can load onto my sites, get it up and running in 5 minutes, and know that I've got everything that I need. And so that was a sort of catalyst for it. And then, started working with John, and the product's just grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. And I mean, I'm sure John is, but I'm pretty proud of the product, and we've tried to provide the best compliance solution out there on the market without a doubt. Hence, it's taken us, like John said, the near part of 8 months to get it to where it is. We keep building features into it. We've had, lots of beta testers in there giving us some great ideas. And like you've said, Ray, we've tried to build the interface as simple as possible so that anyone can get in there, load it up to their site, and within 5 minutes they're up and running with all the compliance pages they need.
Absolutely, and that's exactly how it worked, because I I literally went in there with no instructions, and 5 minutes later had a compliant site with all sorts of compliances that I had never even heard of and didn't even know that I needed. But that's the scary part, I think. I mean, you've got special EU cookie, compliance things that I'd never heard of, and you're right. I don't want to be fined $100,000.
Explain a little bit about that if you want, Ray.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the EU cookie compliance law came into effect in May 2012, and basically it was a law that said any website that is based anywhere in the European Union or displays information to anyone based in the European Union, which is effectively everybody, needs to have notify their users of how they use and store cookies. So all of a sudden, people were jumping up and down because there's been a big thing over in the EU as well. I mean, as you can tell from my accent, I'm British, and I come from that part of the world. There's been a big furore, as I'm sure there has in the States, about how personal information is stored and used, and this law came into effect to basically address that situation. So what we've done in Compliance Bar is we have built in an additional feature that creates a small bar at the bottom of your page, whereby you can set it to tell people how you're storing cookies or storing their personal information, and it will then redirect them to your privacy policy should you want it to. And in basically on Compliance Bar, you have a button to click to accept it, so that if you accept it, you are deeming your acceptance, obviously, to the cookie compliance law. And we do actually store that in the back end of Compliance Bar as well. We log the IP address should we need it further detail. So that's really how the EU cookie compliance law came about, and we thought it was something that they've been jumping up and down about it for the last couple of years over in Europe. We thought we'd better include it within Compliance Bar.
Nice. Yeah, I honestly am getting a little bit nervous about some of these things now. If anything, you get, not only do you get Compliance Bar, you also get to have paranoia at the same time, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I never knew that, and I've got a lot of sites out there, and I'm sure people in the European Union look at them all the time, and I wasn't following that law. Yeah. Wow, that's a really scary thought. I know here in the U.S. the FTC is starting to really crack down, but that's a scary thing. Imagine you're just some mommy blogger talking about quilts for your baby, and you're not even making money or selling things, and the next thing you know, you're hit with a giant fine just for having a website. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeesh.
Yeah, I mean, we have covered several examples, as Anton said, on our sales letter. There is another one of a very well-known figure within our industry who was hit a couple of years ago very hard by the FTC for non-compliance. Many people will know who I'm referring to, and it's just evidence that, as you say, the FTC are cracking down on it, and they're getting stricter and stricter. And some of the figures that are being involved. I mean, there's one guy on our sales page that we talk about who not only got a fine resulting in hundreds of thousands of dollars, he also got a judgment against him that he has to declare to every single person he does business with. So he has to basically say, hey, I got done by the FTC for whatever it was. And that's quite scary when you're sort of sitting like you and me as an online entrepreneur to think, yeah, crikey, as we say, don't think it's not going to happen to you, because it's possible it can.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, 2 of those $100,000 fines, and I might not be able to pay anymore. So, jeez.
I'd be going to live on a small Pacific island somewhere.
Well, that's really exciting. So, let me ask you guys this: is there anything people should know about this particular product? I mean, like I said, I went through. I was able to set it up in a couple of minutes and make one of my sites completely compliant. And now after this, I'm probably going to spend the rest of the weekend making sure every other site I own has it on there. But is there anything people should know about any of this that maybe we haven't covered today? Something that might scare the heck out of them even more.
I mean, I think we've covered a lot of good points today, Ray. I mean, one of the features that we built into Compliance Bar, which I think is quite important, is it's mobile friendly. So we've actually created it because mobile is becoming a much bigger part of the online medium. People are surfing on their Androids and iPhones and iPads. So Compliance Bar can be set to be shown on mobile devices. So I think that's something important. And the other thing which we've built into the plugin is the ability to allow unlimited pop-ups. So if you want to lock some content on your site, John mentioned sort of R18 content or adult content or e-cigs or something like that. You can put a pop-up on your site that someone has to accept before they're able to access that content on that page. And also what we do there is we log the IP address in the back of the database. So you've got an audit trail. So if someone came back to you and said, hey, I went to, I never went to that page, you could obviously, have a bit of an audit trail. So there's a couple of little extra features there, Ray, that I think people will find really, really useful. And like to say, John and I've worked really hard to provide the most comprehensive, easy-to-use compliance tool that we can.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I've dealt with compliance for some of my sites and everything, and never knew that all these different things were out there. I handled the basics that I had always heard about, but it's exciting. Well, I don't know if exciting is the right word, but it's good to know that there's something that covers kind of everything, and that it's still that easy to set up and use. So I'm really I'm really hoping that everybody takes a really good close look at this, because it's like I said at the beginning, it's not something sexy, but it's something very serious that we have to stop and take a look at. And I know beginning of the year there was a big push on this because of some changes that had happened, and obviously that's still going on. But I'm excited to let people know about this, because I think it's highly, highly important that they pay attention to this. So, guys, I really appreciate you coming out here and talking to us about this today. And just so everybody knows, when's it coming out?
26th of May, 11 a.m.
Nice. 11 a.m. Eastern on the 26th of May, and I will certainly be letting everybody know all about that. So if you need any more information, please click the link that will be below this video, and we'll be glad to answer any questions. I know both Anton and John are pretty easy to get a hold of if you have questions, although I'm sure they'll be busy over the next few days. But they're certainly around and willing to help out with any of that. So looking forward to Monday for everybody. And guys, thanks for joining me from all the way across the other side of the planet here.
Thanks for having us, Ray.
No, I appreciate it. And again, guys, if you have any questions, just let me know or let them know, and we'll be glad to help out. Thanks.